here tonight. The aim of the GPA is to bring together Greek and Greek Cypriot and British journalists and to develop a strong and productive Anglo-Hellenic cooperation. It is wonderful that tonight we are joined by representatives of many Greek societies in the UK and the Greek charity which was established in London a few years ago, the Hellenic Hope, which does so much work for Greek children in crisis. We have an exciting evening ahead with many famous guests of honor who are going to speak for our enlightenment and entertainment. The first Greeks appeared in London in 1660 and they established the first Greek church, which was to give its name to Greek Street in Soho, not far from where we are now. The church has long gone, but the name Greek Street remains. Between the years 1830 and 1845, nearly 50 offices of Greek companies were opened in the city of London, and many families were prominent members of the stock exchange, the court and cotton exchanges. They were not just bankers and businessmen, but also scientists, like Constantine Rodokanakis. He was a doctor and personal physician to King Charles II. Greeks became part of the British establishment. They were well respected, some becoming friends with the Queen Victoria. London was the world center for shipping, and the arrival of the first Greek ship owners took place in the 1930s, and then again after the Second World War, when the ship owners were strengthened by financial assistance given by the US to Greece in the form of ships. The Greek shipping community in London expanded between the years 1950 and 1990. More than 120 Greek shipping offices opened in the city of London. I came to London in 1984 to further my education, and I became a journalist. I have lived throughout the peak of the Greek community, and I saw the decline of this in early 2000. And now I'm experiencing the rebirth of another strong new Greek community that includes more than 2,000 Greek academics around British universities, more than 300 Greek doctors in British hospitals, a vast number of bankers, as well as many modern Greek restaurants and delicatessens. As we have with us tonight distinguished representatives of the new Greeks in London, I would like to send out a message that we are determined to keep the Hellenic spirit alive, whatever the present crisis in Greece. Our guest tonight is Lord Boswell of Farnborough, and I'm accused a noted historian, author and broadcaster, Dr. Linda Papalagopoulos, psychologist, author, broadcaster, the fashion guru Achilleas Konstantinou, CEO of Ariella Couture, Stavra Naos, the BBC television weather presenter, and Professor Chris Pisanidis, the Nobel laureate. thanks to His Excellency the Greek Ambassador, Mr. Konstantinos Bikas, Lord Boswell, to Vicky Price, who hasn't arrived yet, for her kind assistance. We thank the Minister of Tourism, Mrs. Elena Kondoura, who has granted us with her auspices, and the London Greek Tourist Office for their support. We also thank Dr. Angelica Cavuni, Athena Paris, and Matti Egon, Mr. John Kyriakidis, Director of the London Greek Radio, and the Hellenic TV, who is filming for us tonight. Dr. Cavuni also offers a basket with cosmetics to whomever will get the flurry from the cake. Our angel tonight is Gabriel. Gabriel Iliopoulos is the head of events here in the district club. He's Greek, as you understand. And also we thank the directors of the district club for their hospitality.
Yes, thank you very much, Martha. Martha's asked me just to speak in one sentence. And what I'm just going to say is the genius of Greece. I mean, Greece has given the world so much, and I'm involved in a project which means that there is much more for Greece to give to the world. It's not what the world can give to Greece. You are a people of genius, and you have a task ahead, we would think. Now, the task that I'm and my colleagues are involved in is returning the Olympic Games to Greece permanently. I have visited the site of ancient Olympia, have spoken to the archaeologists and the people who actually live and breathe in Olympia, and was delighted when I went there to discover that Konstantinos Karamanlis had this inspired view many years ago. And we see now, with the difficulties the Olympics are having, the difficulties that sports are having, where Greece could stand in there and be a permanent place, a permanent situation for the resurgence and the rebirth of the Olympic Games as it should be. Thank you.
Now I'm going to invite Stav Danaos. He's another special man with Cypriot origin. He was born in the UK, and since he was he joined the BBC Weather Centre in 2007. In 2010, Stav became the main breakfast TV weather presenter on BBC Scotland. He returned to London in 2013 when he became part of the network's weather team, broadcasting to the UK and on the World Service. His mother Tassula and sister Nadia are also here with us tonight. Hello.
Thank you, Martha. Hello. Hi there, thank you. I just wanted to start by saying thank you. It's a great honour and privilege to be invited with all these wonderful guests this evening, and I look forward to making my rounds, chatting to you all after dinner. You'll notice as well that I'm reading off a script now, but that's not the case when I'm presenting the weather on TV, because we have to learn the weather story off by heart, and then through the day we're presenting with the information in our head, ad lib really. So none of our bulletins are auto-cued like many people think, so this is a bit new for me to do this. I get quite nervous as well presenting to lots of faces. Even though I present to millions through the TV, it's less nerve-wracking talking down a camera. But as Martha already mentioned, I've been presenting national weather for the BBC for just over 3 years now, and it is a great job. The shifts are pretty grueling though, especially the night shifts. But I suppose it had to be the vocation of my life, because as a child I was obsessed with the weather, particularly thunderstorms, which I still love. I have to contain my excitement when we've got severe ones in the forecast and we can't show any favoritism on air. But I think it's fair to say I drove my family mad with it as a child, as my mum and sister can vouch for that. However, if it hadn't been a vocation in meteorology, I would have certainly been in with food, as I love food, and I'm also a keen environmentalist and conservationist. I look forward to concentrating more of this on my spare time, as well as travelling and doing some storm chasing. But anyway, that's enough about me. I just hope you have a lovely evening. I look forward to chatting to you at some point through the night. Thank you. Thank you, Martha. You didn't make the move.
I'm going to present you Achilleas Konstantinou, 66, in a small office in Carnaby Street. Ariella is this year celebrating 50 years at the forefront of the British fashion industry and has won a major industry award in every one of its 5 decades in business, including the HSBC Business Thinking Award 2010 for London and the coveted Queen's Award for Export Achievement. Achilleas was also the founder member of the British Fashion Council and the British Fashion Design Protection Association. In 2015, Ariella was the exclusive UK TV sponsor for the Hollywood Academy Award season, including the Oscars, the Golden Globes, the Emmys, and the Grammys. His daughter Lana is here with us tonight. Welcome, Lana. She's continuing the success, is now expanding the company's retail division from a flagship store opened last year in Brent Cross to over 30 retail outlets within the next 2 years, making Ariella a top name in the fashion world. If Achilleas was not the world of fashion, he would have made the best journalist, a kind of Greek Terry Wogan. I had the opportunity to discover this a few years ago when he had a program on LGR together with Angela Panagiotou. The woman's program was broadcast every Saturday morning. This gave me a special affection for him, and I would not hesitate to make him an honorary member of the GPA. I still remember him saying that he's a Leo, is correct? Taurus. I said Taurus, and that your birthday is on the same date with a royal queen. Ah, you see that. Okay, Achillea, welcome.
Thank you, Martha. Thank you very much. Well, okay, that introduction was about as long as my age. Good evening, everybody, and I'm from a company called Ariella. We're in the fashion business, and all of you are in the press business. And when Martha asked me to say a few words tonight, I thought I'd keep it pretty simple and as pertinent as possible. I was telling the people at my table that one of the most interesting things that's evolved in recent history from every aspect of our economic activity is the one of marketing. In a capitalist society, we're all about selling products. And how do we sell products nowadays? What is the biggest medium of selling a product? Yes, of course, we have social media, which is incredibly important. But who are the biggest followers of social media? Shall I tell you what I think? It's celebrity endorsements. Celebrity endorsements. You get a leading actor or actress to wear your, better an actress, to wear your dress at the Oscars, and you have a huge demand. You put a beautiful celebrity to stand next to your BMW car, you sell more BMWs. Celebrity endorsements are everything. And who makes celebrities famous? You, the press. It's the press. So, you are amongst the most important people in modern day society. So all I want to say tonight is a big toast to the press. Nasta Gala.
I will say a few words now for Lord Boswell of Idaho. He is the Conservative Chairman of the House of Lords European Union Committee since 2012. He was formerly a Conservative Member of Parliament sitting in the House of Commons from 1987 to 2010, holding a number of ministerial posts. He has 3 daughters. One of them is the Conservative MP Victoria Prentice. He is a friend of Greece, always willing to support Greek culture initiatives. His education in classics influenced his fondness for Greece, and his education in agriculture economics makes him a perfect farmer.
Well, thank you, Martha. Good evening, Ambassador, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you some news. I'm not going to make a political speech tonight, even if the word derives from a Greek root. All I will say about politics, and we have a report coming out which you can read in due course on it, which will refer to values as well as some of the details. But all I wanted to say is, taking 2 other Greek roots, I think politics is a contest between cynicism and empathy. And as far as I'm concerned, empathy wins. And an ability to have pleasant memories of an education spent around ancient Greek as well as Roman, and then some other things subsequently, and also to have an opportunity of working with Greek colleagues in the European Union is a very stimulating one. I thought I'd just draw on 2 memories to make a point. Thinking of time in an Oxford seminar room about 54 years ago, when we were being taught by a German Jew who was an emigre from the Nazis, Professor Frankl. I remember at one point he recited to us Elthelke Kalidon Kalasora Seguza, which, if my Greek is as bad as I suspect it is, I will translate as "Come, come, swallow, bring the good weather." That follows Stavros, of course, and his contributions. But it's about the return of spring. But Edward Frankel just turned around and said, that is the oldest song in the world, and it's in Greek. But the second classical memory I'd like to draw on is perhaps a more depressing one. But it's also about the spring. And it's that sentence which sometimes people overlook when they're looking at some of the self-praise of Athens in Pericles' famous funeral speech of 430. But he begins it by saying, "The spring has gone out of the year." And I think in a sense, and it's not, as it were, to do more than to express empathy, anybody from other members of the European Union will know that Greece has been subjected to some terrible strains, to economic difficulties which have now extended for nearly a decade, and on top of that, a terrible migration crisis which others are seeking to push off onto them. Now, that's the spring going out of the year. And yet, I think coming through it, there are 2 elements of the Greek character which I admire, which I think are very clear. One is resilience, a determination not to be put down by it. And the second one is hope, a word that a number of people have used, and indeed Hellenic hope expresses that precisely. It's saying things are rough, they have often been difficult for Greece, but there is hope for the future. Now, as far as I'm concerned, and this is not at a high political level, but it's at a personal level, what you may reasonably ask from your friends is empathy and support. There will be things you and your government and your people have to do, but the last thing you want is people turning back to cynicism or neglecting you. We can help. We should challenge our political classes and others, and our commercial classes too, to see the help they can give, and together we can help contribute to the solution of your problems. But you know that. There is no lecture in this. What I'd really like to say is how much I appreciate your invitation and your hospitality, and I am sure everyone, despite their difficulties, is going to have a terrific evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lord Boswell. The main course is about to be served, but I will present Bethany Hughes and Linda Papadopoulos. Bethany Hughes is a brilliant classical scholar, a vibrant personality, that she might show up tonight dressed as Helen of Troy. Many people believe that she's the reincarnation of a Greek goddess, such is her devotion to the Greek culture. Dr. Linda Papadopoulos, it would be impossible to describe Linda in a few words. She has recently invited to present her research at European Parliament in Brussels. She was included in the top 20 therapists in London by the Evening Standard and was awarded the Madame Figaro Women of the Year award in 2008 in the field of academia. Dr. Papadopoulos values her life, her free time with her husband and their young daughter. As a psychologist and as a mother, Linda.
Hello, good evening, Kalispera, how lovely to see you. I am going to say just a few words because your main course is about to arrive. I would just like to say that when I do my programs to 250 million people, I constantly channel the power of the Greek woman, and that is the Greek woman from the past and also the brilliantly feisty Greek women of the present that I see all around me. So I could not do it without you. I love you men as well, but I particularly like Greek women. You've talked about Helen of Troy. My next project is going to be a biography of Aphrodite. So I need some help, ladies and gentlemen, in discovering the truth of Aphrodite. Aphrodite, as we know, is the goddess of love. And love is something I feel for Greece so passionately, and I'm given by Greece every time that I visit. And Lord Boswell talked very beautifully about the wonderful words we should remember when we think of Greece. Possibly my favourite Greek word is the ancient Greek word xenia, guest, host, friendship, and love for strangers. And as Lord Boswell said, at the moment your hospitality is being sorely tested, and it's down to us to remember that xenia is not just the love of strangers, but the love of mankind. So we in Britain need to do everything we can to give you, Greeks, our love. So thank you. Have a lovely evening.
I'm Vicky Price. I'm Greek-born, as I'm sure you all know, and I've been working in this country for a very long period of time. One of the things I have been doing recently is focus on the Greek economy and comment on the developments in the Eurozone and what's been going on in Greece. I suggested the theme of this evening, which was hope for Greece. And I have to say that at least today, for once, there are some better figures coming out of the country. We have had some unemployment figures, which suggest that actually unemployment is going down, admittedly only to 24%, but it's still better than the 27% it was. Youth unemployment going down to 48% from 54%. I think that's probably mainly because all the young Greeks are in London right now, studying or working in bars, and some of them living with me, in fact, including my lovely niece Aphrodite, given what we just heard. She's over there, who's also my researcher. But also what we've seen, strangely, is that the economy seems to have stabilized. So there was, in fact, an increase in GDP in the last quarter of last year. It may be a bit of a statistical sort of funny figure because, of course, we've had deflation in Greece, and what you find is if you have deflation, of course, even if there is a drop in nominal GDP, because prices are going down, you seem to be growing in real terms. So it's a bit mad. But nevertheless, there seems to be something going on there. And of course, there is some hope as well, despite the terrible stuff that's going on with migrants, the migration crisis right now, with Greece being inundated, with these people coming over from Syria, Afghanistan, and everywhere else. What seems to be happening is that the attitude towards Greece, which has been through such a horror period, seems to be softening. So there is a hope there as well. The Germans in particular are now relying on Greece and Turkey up to a point to act as a stop, if you like, for this huge increase of people coming through and prepared to pay for Greece to be able to have a better system of allowing people through. So there are still issues. There is a concern that Greece may be thrown out of Schengen, that there's going to be a barrier to traveling from Greece to other countries. There is some serious issues as well about our own position in Europe still. There is a concern that Brexit and Grexit may happen at the same time, with elections and so on coming up. We may see a slightly better situation developing in the future. So the theme is hope. Martha has done a great job in getting all of you here, and I'm just hoping that the slightly better attitude towards the Greeks will survive the next few months, which are going to be very crucial for Europe and, of course, very significantly for Greece. So thank you all very much for being here and listening to this in this appalling sort of microphone that I have to hold in front of me, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Goodbye.
We are Hellenic. We've heard of our quote spoken by lots of speakers tonight. So we are actually the embodiment of hope. We are Hellenic Hope. We're the charity partner of the evening tonight. We're a UK charity for those who don't know us yet. We're a UK charity. We focus on children that are plagued by the crisis in Greece. We focus on three main areas, that is education, food, and health. What we focus on is long-lasting impact for children that have been plagued by the crisis in Greece. Tonight this is a very special event because we want to put hope into practice. So the way we want to do this tonight is we run a host of projects. We want to share a project with you, and we want to invite you to participate in this project.
Well, all the best for this year. Congratulations for this wonderful evening to all of you, and all success to all your endeavors.
Thank you.